Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sammy, and for today's video I'm just going to be sharing some tips and just some advice if you're somebody that's thinking about joining the dental hygiene program, or if you're already in the program, this might help you out. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. In this video, the first question that I get asked the most is how long is the program? The program is only 2 years, but it did take me over 4 years to complete, just because you are required to take certain general education courses before you can apply for the program. And depending on if you have to work full-time or not, it might take you a little bit longer than others. So I was only able to take like 1 or 2 classes per semester, and that's just what worked for me because I wanted to make sure I was getting all A's in my prerequisites, and that's what I did, and that's what really helped me get into the program and be able to graduate with honors. Something you really want to do is you want to go on the college website and you want to download the information package for the dental hygiene program that you're wanting to attend, and you just want to make sure you check everything that you need to have in order for you to be able to apply to this program. I'll give you some examples of the general education courses that I had to take before I could apply. I had to take like psychology, sociology, comp 1, speech, microbiology, chemistry, biology, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2. And then registration for the program is once a year. It opens up in September, and the deadline is like mid-December. So you want to make sure you check those dates as well. And you want to make sure you talk to one of the advisors at the college so they can help you plan out your schedule for your prerequisites, and they can help you know when you have to apply so you don't miss the deadline, because it's once a year and you don't want to miss that deadline for the application and have to wait another year for you to apply. So I'm going to share with you guys my secret on how I was able to get all A's in my prerequisite classes. I did have 1 B, but that's because something major happened in my life and just things happen. Okay, so I got all A's in 1 B. And how I was able to do this is I did research on all the professors. There's the website called ratemyprofessor.com. You basically go into the when registration opens, you go and you look up that course that you want to take, and you look at all the names of the professors. You go on that website, you type in their name, and it will show up how they're rated. It shows how good their teaching skills are, like their lectures, if it's an easy course, if they give a lot of extra work like outside of class. And I feel like this was so helpful because to me, I feel like if a teacher can help you pass or fail, like the way they teach can make a big difference on how you end up in that class. So if you are someone that already has a degree, you can contact that college that you got your degree from, and you can next to see if they can transfer those credits over to the new college. But you also want to make sure you contact the new college that you're going to apply for and check if they will accept those credits. So for the program that I attended, the way they pick students is they give you points for everything. So like if you get like better grades, you get more points because your certain GPAs are worth a certain amount of points. And once you apply, by the deadline, they will call you back and they will check to see how many classes you completed. Keep in mind, you do not need to complete all the prerequisites. There were students in the class, in my dental hygiene class, that they didn't have like all their classes completed. So while we were in the program, they were finishing up like 1 or 2 classes that they were missing. So you don't have to complete all of them. I was just advised by the advisor at school that I should complete as many or all, which I did, of my prerequisites, so that way I have more points and a better chance of me to get accepted into that program because it's very competitive. the school that I attended, for in-state tuition for the 2 years of the program only, it was like $20,000. You also have to keep in mind that you need to pay for those prerequisite classes, but if you are someone that cannot apply for financial aid or doesn't qualify, or you cannot apply for scholarships, like for example me, I wasn't able to apply for any of those just because of my status in this country doesn't allow me to do that. So you want to make sure that you work and you save up money, and you give yourself a budget and you lower your expenses, so that once you're in that program you won't be stressing so much, and you can work a little bit less, so you can give more of your time to studying. Another tip that I have for you on getting all A's on your prerequisite classes is that when you go and you register for classes that semester, don't ever register for like the same subject. So like, let's say don't register for like an anatomy class and a biology class for the same semester, because those are like two difficult classes and you don't want to have that. You want to take one difficult class and then the rest easy classes. So let's say for example, you can take chemistry, and then you can take comp 1 and psychology. So you have one difficult class and 2 easier classes that you can choose from. Like I said, I only took maximum of 2 classes per semester, and that's just because I had to work full-time. But if you don't have to work full-time, then you can definitely take more than that. Just do what you can handle, and things do happen in life, like I mentioned earlier. So if you are taking like 3 classes and you're failing one of them, you want to withdraw from that class. Okay, it's better to take a W on your transcript than an F. You don't want to get a failing grade, because that does affect your grade. I had to withdraw from my chemistry class, and that's because I found the professor that was teaching me, I wasn't able to keep up with their method of teaching. That's why I said you should go and look up the professors on ratemyprofessor.com. It helps you a lot, and I had to find out all of these things by myself. I had to like make friends with people in my classes and ask them questions, because I came into college without any like knowledge whatsoever. I had nobody to go talk to, like in my family, about this. So I just had to do my own research, and that's why I'm here today, to share whatever I know and whatever I did. I just want everybody to just be successful and reach all their goals in life. And so I'm going to share what I know with you guys, and how I was able to get into the hygiene program on my first attempt, and how I was able to graduate with honors. So for when you go into the hygiene program, you do not get to choose how your schedule is. At least that's how it was for the school that I attended. We didn't get to choose the schedules. It was already planned out for us, and we had to be there from like 8 in the morning to 5. Sometimes we got off a little earlier, and we were there like 3 days a week. There was a semester in the summer where we started being in the clinic more often with patients, and we were there from Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, sometimes a little bit past 5, just because it took a little longer for cleaning up the clinic and all of that. So you just want to make sure you have the time for this program. And you can work while you're in this program. It's not like you can't work at all. You can work. They'll give you your schedule in advance, so you're able to talk with your employer and figure out what days you can work. But you also want to keep in mind that you want to make sure you make time to study and get projects done, because you will be coming into class like the following day, and you will be getting a quiz. I always try to study at least 5 hours per day. I didn't study for 5 hours straight. You want to make sure you take a break. I would go outside and walk my dogs, or I would watch an episode on my favorite show, and then I would come back and study. But you cannot just sit there and study a lot of times I did have to leave my house. I went to like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or the public library just so I can have some like distraction around me so I wouldn't get bored and fall asleep. How I studied in this program is like I formulated a lot of questions, and then I would just like quiz myself, and I also used Quizlet. I did the flashcards on Quizlet, and they have different methods that you can use. You can do like the testing, the learning, the flashcards, and whatever you don't know, you can put a star on it, and then it would just keep showing up until you understand, until you know that answer to the question. The way you've been studying before, it might change a lot once you get into the program, just because it's a lot of new information that you have to learn, and it's like multiple classes at once. And the dental hygiene is not difficult at all. It's just a lot of information given to you at once, and you just have to make sure you have time to study and really just learn everything. So I also wanted to say that when you're in this program, there will be days where you won't do as great. Also, the grading system for the program is a lot different than what it is for like the other courses that you would take prior to applying for the program. So for example, in the dental hygiene program that I was in, a 75 is a C and a 74 is an F, so you cannot get lower than a 75. And for you to have an A in whatever is a 94 and above. That's an A. So a lot of my grades were A's and B's. I didn't get any C's. I got C's like in quizzes or a test, but in the classes I just ended up with a B and an A. Now since I was working and in the program, sometimes I would get home and I was so tired. I tried to study and I just couldn't. So I remember I went into class that day and I wasn't able to study the night before for that quiz. So I went in there and I took the quiz and I didn't know anything, so I got a 0. Okay, and I was like, oh my god, I suck, like I'm gonna get kicked out of the program, like I got a 0. And I was like, you know what, it's just a quiz, it's one bad grade that I got. I'm gonna study, and we have a test coming up on this subject along with other chapters, so that's my chance to come back. And I did. I got 100 on that test. So this is just an example that we have ups and downs. You can do really bad on one thing, but you can come back on the next thing and do really great. So don't ever like just beat yourself and think that, oh, I can't do this. You can. For like the first semester is all the basic information. You start practicing on little teeth models, and then you start practicing on the dummies, and then after that you come back to your second semester and you start seeing real patients. I also want to let you guys know that for some of the assignments you will need to bring your own patients, so you want to make sure you have family members that are available for you to bring them into class, or your friends, just somebody that you can trust. And this also goes for the clinical exam that you take at the end of the program to get your license. You have to get your own patients, so like you want to make sure you start planning all of this ahead of time, so when it comes around that time you're not stressing and searching for a patient last minute. The program, dental hygiene program, it's a really fun experience. It's like something completely different that's introduced to you, and if you think you're really gonna enjoy this, then you're gonna have so much fun. There are some people that go into hygiene and after like 1 or 2 semesters they find out it's not for them, so they like drop the course. And so if you're not 100% sure if dental hygiene is for you, I recommend you go and you shadow like a hygienist or that lives close to you. You can go into the office and ask if you can shadow, because you are wanting to go into dental hygiene school, and that would just give you an idea of what it's like being a hygienist, because you don't want to like spend all this time working towards being a hygienist, and then once you're in the program, like you decide it's not for you. You So I recommend you go and you try to shadow somebody first, or you can go and do some research and see what all like hygienist does. If you already have experience in dentistry, like you're a dental assistant and you're coming into the program, that's great. There's going to be some classes where you're going to do amazing because it's stuff that you already learned. But if you have no experience, like me and most of the students in the class, you're going to do great as well. It's just going to take you a little longer for you to learn this stuff, but don't worry, like you don't have to go and be an assistant first. At first I was going to go and apply for dental assisting, and then I was told like, don't do that, it's a waste of time, just go right into hygiene. And that's what I did, and now I know, like I know a lot. So, and then also you gotta think about it, like why would you go and waste your time and apply for dental assisting if what you're gonna do at the end is dental hygiene? Yeah. You want to make sure that you make friends in this program, so you have somebody to talk to. If you have any questions, you can help out each other with studying or just with anything at all. Like you can remind each other of assignments that are due, what's coming up, because at this point, once you're in the program, like you're not competing with each other, you're all one person, not one person, you're all one family, and you all are just gonna help out each other to be successful and graduate and get your license and become a dental hygienist. So the first thing I did on the first day of class is the person that I was sitting next to, which we turned out to be great friends, I got her number, and she might have thought I was weird, I don't know, but I was like, hey, what's your name? Let me get your number. So, and I always like contacted her, and we just, whenever we had a question, I also ended up making other friends that I was able to study with, and I was able to carpool because we didn't live close to school. We had to drive back and forth, and you want to have the support of your classmates, you want to have the support of your family and your friends. Your family and your friends will have to understand that you will not be seeing them as often, because a lot of the time you're going to be in school or working, and when you're not in school or working, you'll be studying. You do want to try and give yourself at least one day to yourself. Some people have families and children, and you don't want to neglect them too much. You want to be sure and you enjoy your time with them, because it's 2 years of a program, and yeah, you just don't want to stress yourself out too much and just think like, oh, all I can do is school and work, that's all I can do. No, you want to enjoy your time. When you have break from school, you want to try and really enjoy those breaks, because they go by so quick, and then by the time you know it, you're back in class, you're back to studying, and just enjoy it as much as you can. At the last semester of the program, we have 4 exams that we take, and those exams we have to pass all of them in order for us to get our license. You have to pay for each one. There is the national boards, which is an 8-hour exam, and it consists of 350 questions, and those questions are covering all the material that you learned in those 2 years of the program, and also all the material that you learned prior to that. So like your general education courses, it will have some of that in there too. And then once you pass that, you will take like a law exam, a computer simulated exam, and then you will take your clinical boards, which is what I recorded myself on in my previous video, and that's where you need to take your own patient. Luckily I was able to take somebody close to me that's reliable. There were some students in class that had to take a stranger, and they did face a little bit of an issue where the patient might not be available that day, and like that's just something you want to avoid, because this is like your exam, like to get your license, so you want to make sure your patient shows up and they are going to be there to help you pass. Also, when you graduate, you'll be graduating with an associate's degree in science in dental hygiene. The college that I attended does not offer a bachelor's program, So you want to look into that too if you are wanting to get a bachelor's degree. Just look at different college, or you can always just graduate with your associates and then do your bachelor's degree online, which some of the students are doing that in class. I personally do not want to do that. I've talked to some dentists and they don't really look for a bachelor's degree. They just want somebody that will have the skills necessary to be a hygienist. Before you get into the program, like I said, you want to make sure you have those courses that you need for you to apply. And they also do a criminal records check and a drug screening once you pass those. And if you do get accepted into the program, they would do more testing. You need to have like a physical, like show that you have all your vaccines, and they would do like TB testing. You have to get like CPR certified. You just want to make sure you check that the program information for the college that you'll be attending, and just read through it all so you don't miss anything. And then you apply, or if you're doing your prerequisites, you go ahead and use those tips that I shared with you and try to get all A's and B's. If you feel like you're failing a class, you want to withdraw from that class, on time, because it's better to have that W on your transcript than a failing than an F, because the F will affect your GPA. But if you get the W, it doesn't affect your GPA. I had to withdraw from one of my classes. So when you withdraw, it means that the money that you paid for that course, you will not get it reimbursed, so you lose that money, and then a W goes on your transcript, and you can retake that course a different semester with a different professor. So that's all I can think of right now that I have to share with you. Of course, if you have any other questions for me, you can let me know. You can comment down below, or you can send me a message on my Instagram, and then I'll be sure to make another video where I cover everything. And yeah, that's it. So if you're thinking of joining the hygiene program, or if you're already in it, I wish you the best of luck and you will do great.